thank you all for being here. OIA, thank you for allowing Nationwide to be here. So the big elephant in the room, what's this Nationwide doing at an independent agent conference, right? So first thing, we're wondering, I talk with folks and I'm like, why is the brand here? What is going on? So the first thing I really want to take the time to do is talk about how important the independent channel is to Nationwide. It's extremely important. We're a $43 billion organization. 50% of that comes from financial services. Not sure how many people knew that our organization is that big in financial services. The next piece comes from P&C. Anybody venture to guess how much of that P&C is driven by our independent agents? 60%. 60% of our business comes from independent agents on the P&C side. It's extremely important for us. The other piece I think a lot of folks forget about is that we have 10,000 independent agents spread across the country. We have 24 independent agents, our exclusive agents. That's it. I'll talk a little bit about our models as we go forward and what we're looking at doing and how we're changing some things, but I'm going to focus on two things. The number one is our journey to One Nationwide, and what that is to you, what it means to the agency force, what it means to us, and what it means to your customers. Number two, I'm going to talk about really focused distribution, what we're referring to as focused distribution, how we're going to go to market, what we're going to give you to sell, how it's going to look when you go down the path with us. So number one, One Nationwide. What does it mean? Our goal, our strategy is to be a commercial powerhouse and a leader in personal line solutions. You'll notice I did not say personal lines auto and home or umbrella, because as we look in the future, that's changing. So going back to the commercial powerhouse, we'll talk about some of the verticals we'll be moving into and how we're changing some of those. Nationwide is number 65 on the Fortune 100 list. How many people know that? Pretty much the only people at Fortune magazine. And the only reason that is because we went to market under so many different brands. VPI. Anybody know that Nationwide's the largest writer of pet insurance in the country? E&S, Scottsdale. Everybody knows that we got the number 2 largest E&S market in the country. We're the number 3 writer of commercial lines. We're the number 1 writer of ag. And collectively, nobody knew this until we started pulling things together. Started thinking about, wow, we did not know we were the number 1 small commercial writer until Connie came and told us we were the number 1 small commercial writer. Just because we went to market in so many different ways. The customer came and got an Allied brand, and they got a Harleysville brand, and they got this brand, and didn't know. So as we step back to say, how do we then leverage each of those areas to bring that to our agency partners? Very, very powerful, extremely powerful. So that movement to One Nationwide has created some challenges, I'm not going to lie. What happens when you move 5 different companies into one? You got 5 different cultures to come to one company. That's extremely difficult, so we have to change that. We were working on that, we're moving through that. We're keeping folks focused. Trying to go to market instead of business units, collection of businesses, we're going to market as a collection of solutions. We try to bring things to you folks. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. So those are some of the things to think about. It's just that One Nationwide. Externally, I would venture to guess that each and every one of you have a different picture of Nationwide today, because there has not been a consistent message to the marketplace just as who we are, what we do, how we do it, how we're going about it. Nationwide historically, when you think about the Nationwide brand, unaided awareness of brand, meaning if we sat down a group of people and threw the N and the eagle down, 90% of the people could identify that brand and knew it was Nationwide. That's the reason we chose, obviously, that brand to go forward with. Now, obviously, we're working on some of those communications as their sales managers are coming out and talking. And these types of events, we don't get to talk as frequently at these, but hopefully it's creating some awareness. So that's the journey to One Nationwide. Now, what's this focused distribution? Focused distribution is how we're going to go to market, who we're going to go to market with, and what we're going to deliver. We have roughly 30 different platforms in which agents quote with us. We're moving to one. We're going to go to one product, one price, and one platform. That's going to save us $1 billion over the course of bringing everything to that one. What are we going to do with that $1 billion as a mutual? We're going to reinvest it. We're going to reinvest it back into, we got to think differently. We'll talk a little bit about some of the thinking differently as innovation, but so we're going to reinvest that. Also, this does a couple things. The members today, when a customer comes to your agency, they have a different price than when they go to a nationwide exclusive agency. They have a different price than when they go to direct. So when they call 1-800, they get a quote from us, that's a different price. That will all have the same price. That created a lot of disruption for folks. That we'll be moving there really quickly. We're moving in it now. We've got several states that are on that path. So that's one of the first things we're doing to really get that focused partnership. The second thing we're doing is really getting into that innovative space. Talked about the fact that what we sell today will not be what we sell, figuratively speaking, tomorrow. That will change. Talked about the autonomous vehicle. What happens if cyber attack hits that autonomous vehicle? Who's covering that? We have to think differently as an organization of what do you sell tomorrow? We have to supply that for you folks to get out there and deliver that. When you think about homes are becoming more sophisticated. You might not insure the house anymore. Maybe you insure the content. Maybe you insure the security. It'll still be home, but what leads up to the loss? How do you cover that, what leads up to the loss? That's changing. What has Nationwide done? We've invested in a chief innovation officer. And this person was given pretty much a pot of $100 million to go figure it out. They got $100 million in a team to go figure out what we're going to do. FinTech, you've heard about it? FinTech companies are entering the marketplace weekly, it feels like. And while, hit it right on the head, while they're not maybe getting market share, they're causing people to look, people to view things differently. And that creates stress on each and every one of you here in the room. So that's what we're doing from an innovation standpoint. The third thing is, and I'll spend some more time on this meat of it because this is probably where the most confusing part is in the organization. What we're doing for field distribution. Today, let me say this. Yesterday, figuratively speaking, we had sales managers that called on exclusive agents, and we had sales managers that called on independent agents. Today, that is no longer the case. A sales manager is given a district or a territory, and they go run with it both for exclusive and independent. So when they leave one of your agencies, they may be going over to an exclusive agency. Let me tell you what we're doing in the exclusive model. Many of you know that there's been many options that have been given to our exclusive agents. We are no longer appointing exclusive agencies at Nationwide. That is not a model that's sustainable in the future. Will there be successions? Yes, there will be. People will then take over their father's agency or mom's agency or whatever it is. That will continue. All new appointments for Nationwide will happen in the independent channel. That's how we're moving forward. I'll tell you the options that we've given our Nationwide agents. We've given them 3 options. Earlier this year, we allowed them, or last year we allowed them to go what we call commercial market choice, meaning that they could become independent per se in commercial. As a company that we know that agencies have to have other options than Nationwide to go be effective in commercial. So we allowed them the opportunity to go do that. Just recently, we allowed them the opportunity to merge. This is one of the very unique in the industry. We now let agency A call it agency B and purchase their servicing rights. And we did that for one main reason, a couple main reasons, but the main reason is folks wanted out. Give them the option to get out and let the other Nationwide agents get bigger. And lastly, and this is probably the one that everybody's possibly heard of, I'm going to dismiss a few of the myths that are out there. We allowed the exclusive agencies to go independent. They had the opportunity, we had a third party come in, do 2 valuations of their book, and give them the opportunity to fully buy that book and move off nationwide. We have a handful that have here in Ohio. We have several that have done here in Ohio. And I think everybody's eyes are starting to kind of light up with some dollar signs here, but we're going to talk a little bit about what they can and what they can't do. So they were given that opportunity. A lot of them, when you start to think about those dollar signs that they saw, the valuations, every one of you are used to seeing in the industry, these folks aren't. So a lot of them backed away. Now, those folks that did move forward have the opportunity, effective 1/1, they will be independent agents. There will be some in your communities that effective 1/1, they will be an independent agent. They will be sitting here, hopefully next year. They will be an independent. Now, what can they do with that book of business? They cannot sell that book of business for 3 years. They cannot move that book of business from us for 3 years. And then there is a 2-year last look provision for us that they can't have to come to Nationwide before that. So that's kind of I want to make sure that we talked about Nationwide, what's happening in the exclusive agents, because I think that's been out there a lot in what you're going to see in the marketplace. Again, the commitment to the independent channel is hopefully resonating with everybody in what we're doing. The last thing that, to talk about what we're doing in the independent channel space to help folks write. You're going to see Nationwide get very selective in who we go out and partner. In the past, we've offered all kinds of things to everybody, and we've helped provide training, and hey, we need to write one more restaurant, go out and write it with us, and we'll give you the training to do it. Tomorrow, we're getting to the point where we're getting our verticals very sophisticated, very broad. Folks are going to want to come to Nationwide for that. And we're going to go out and look for agency partners. For example, construction. We're going to want to get very broad in that, and we also want folks who know how to write that really well. Human services, inland marine, these types of things that we do really, really well, we're going to continue to look for our agency partners to help us grow in those areas. So with that, I just want to close by saying I really appreciate the opportunity to be up here and help everybody understand what we're doing at Nationwide, the support to the independent channel, and for those of you who are appointed with us, thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for hanging in there with us. I know it's a challenging time, going through a lot of change. Hopefully you see that light at the end of the tunnel and the powerhouse that Nationwide is going to be. So thank you very much.